Dear Chair of the Nokia Board of Directors, dear honored guests, ladies and gentlemen, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the 28th annual award ceremony of the Nokia Foundation. My name is Hannu Kauppinen, and I am the chair of the Nokia Foundation. It is my pleasure to host this evening's ceremony, and I am delighted to see so many of you in person again. We have an all-time highest attendance today. In a moment, I will hand over to Jenni Lukander, President of Nokia Technologies, who will speak about the importance of long-term research and partnership between industry and research institutions. But before that, let me just quickly take you through the agenda for this evening. First, I will introduce the Nokia Foundation's mission and its programs today. Then, after we have heard from Jenni, we will present this year's scholarships and grant receivers. And after this, we will enjoy the first two courses of the dinner. Then, Sari Baldauf, Chair of the Nokia Board of Directors, will announce the recipient of the 28th Nokia Foundation Recognition Award. We will then have a speech by the winner of the Recognition Award. Then the dessert will be served, and we will hear a music performance from Talouskvartetti. And finally, we will present an honorary award. But let me start by saying a few words about the venue of the evening. This year, we are at the Scandic Grand Central Hotel. This iconic building was designed by architect Eliel Saarinen. After it was finished in 1909, the building served as the headquarters for the Finnish railway company, the VR Group, until 2017. It was then opened again in 2021 as the third largest hotel in Finland. I know that some of you are taking the opportunity to stay here. The Nokia Foundation was established in 1995 to promote and sponsor scientific research and education in the field of information and communication technologies in Finland. The foundation carries out its mission by providing scholarships, grants, and awards to support this work and publishing the results of the research. Currently, the Nokia Foundation pursues its mission through 5 programs. First, we have the Nokia Scholarship Program. Grants in this program are awarded to individuals pursuing doctoral degrees in ICT or in supporting scientific disciplines. Grants in the Jorma Ollila program are directed to recently graduated doctors looking to further develop their research career through international experience. The Visiting Professor program enables distinguished foreign professors to work in Finland, and especially we are looking for Finnish professors to work at respected foreign universities. Keep this in mind. The Fulbright Nokia Distinguished Chair Program is a unique opportunity for American scholars to engage in research collaboration with the Finnish university. And finally, the France Nokia Shared Excellence Program, in which we invite a French scientist to visit a Finnish university. And today, for the 28th time, we will announce our annual Nokia Foundation Recognition Award, which celebrates an individual who has made a significant and lasting contribution to the advancement of ICT in Finland. Since its inception in 1995, the Nokia Foundation has granted 1,960 scholarships, grants and awards, which represent more than 10 million euros in value. A highlight of my year is selecting the technology demos for this event. One of the demos today was presented by Emre Aksu and his team, and it's called Ball Stream. It's about real-time holographic video streaming. In one place, you can capture a three-dimensional video image of a person, and in another place, you see this lifelike image as he was there in front of you. It's a very compelling experience. The other demo was shown by Selahattin Gökçeli, and it's about 6G AI native air interface. The idea is to train a radio transmitter and a receiver jointly, which is shown on the left, and then test the models on real hardware, shown on the right. The 6G air interface, trained by artificial intelligence, easily outperforms the traditional 5G system. And you will need 6G to send the holograms over the network. These two technology demos represent Nokia's vision of the future and how we create technology that helps the world act together. In the industry, we want to set the vision and goals for technology research. We believe that the academic research will provide us with solutions to the fundamental problems. We can submit these ideas to open and interoperable standards, and we then offer the technology to our customers in the form of high-performing and more sustainable products. Today, we are awarding many young doctoral students and postdoctoral researchers, and I am proud of the role that the Nokia Foundation plays in promoting contact between researchers and Finnish companies, including Nokia Corporation. It's a win-win-win, providing technology and idea transfer from fundamental academic research to industrial R&D, career opportunities for recently graduated PhDs, and access to new talent for Finnish companies. Supporting research and education in radio science and engineering is of special importance for the Nokia Foundation. We will come back to this theme later. Now, let me introduce Jenni Lukander, President of Nokia Technologies, who will deliver this evening's keynote speech. Jenni, welcome on the stage.
Esteemed guests of honor, dear Nokia Scholarship and Jorma Ollila Grant recipients, as well as other award recipients, dear friends and colleagues. It's a great honor for me to be delivering the keynote speech today, and I'm delighted that so many of you could join us today. At Nokia, we are incredibly proud of the Nokia Foundation and the role it plays in empowering today's innovation. And for me, personally, it's a great privilege to act as the sponsor for the Nokia Foundation within Nokia Group's leadership team, working closely with Hannu Kauppinen. Since its establishment in 1995, the foundation has made a significant contribution to the development of information and communication technologies, awarding nearly 2,000, or to be more precise, 1,960 research grants. So I would like to take this opportunity to thank those who have led and supported the foundation and its work now and in the past. In particular, Jorma Ollila, who was the main catalyst behind the creation and growth of the Nokia Foundation. So a big thank you, Jorma, for the commitment you have shown over the years. A thank you also goes to Sari Baldauf, Nokia's chair, for her continuous support for the foundation, as well as the board of the Nokia Foundation, all its members, as well as Hannu Kauppinen for his leadership over the past 3 years. And of course, the team behind the scenes, without whom the foundation could not function. A few words about Nokia. Nokia today is a leading global network solutions provider, a trusted partner to communications operators and enterprise customers, with a presence in over 130 countries around the world. Our total annual revenue last year was 25 billion euros. We currently employ around 86,000 employees, of which around 6,000 are in Finland. And in Finland alone, we have colleagues from 80 different countries, so it's a truly international environment. We offer all end-to-end solutions that are available for modern communication networks. More than 4 billion 4G or 5G subscriptions are supported by our mobile networks, while more than 500 million fixed broadband lines are built or maintained using Nokia's technology. Currently, we and our competitors are experiencing weakened market demand, especially in the US, which is our largest market. And so recently we announced a decisive response necessary to ensure our company's long-term success and to maintain our investments in the R&D. So sadly, this means that some Nokia colleagues will be leaving the company over the next couple of years. But putting those macroeconomy-driven challenges aside, Nokia has actually achieved plenty of milestones in the past couple of years. So under the leadership of our CEO Pekka Lundmark, we have defined a new strategy for the company and changed our operating model to allow us to respond faster to our customers and their needs. We also adopted new cultural essentials of open, fearless, and empowered culture to better empower our employees. And we defined a new mission for Nokia, our purpose statement, which is that at Nokia we create technology that helps the world act together. Earlier this year, we also launched a new refreshed brand to better reflect the Nokia we are today, a B2B technology and innovation leader. Our company strategy, which is supported by our 2030 technology vision, details how networks will need to evolve in order to meet the demands of the digital transformation that will underpin future businesses, industries, as well as societies. So as the world increasingly relies on connectivity, much more is demanded from networks. The qualities of traditional networking will be integrated with the flexibility and scalability of cloud. Future networks will go far beyond simply connecting people or things. They are becoming adaptable, autonomous, and consumable. Or as we put it, the next generation networks will be networks that sense, think, and act. This happens when we couple traditional networks with information and data from cloud, apply IT analytics on top, and then boost all of that with artificial intelligence and machine learning. So our vision is to bring the potential of this transformative power of networking to every industry, boosting productivity and efficiencies, and to help the world to resolve the most complex problems. So now let's take a closer look at a part of our 2030 vision so you get a better idea.
By 2030, the world as we know it will be dramatically transformed. The line between digital and physical will blur, and intelligence will flow seamlessly through everything. Possibilities for interaction, collaboration, and productivity will multiply. The metaverse will open up endless opportunities across consumer, enterprise, and industrial sectors. What sort of technological possibilities does Nokia envision in 2030?
Digital physical fusion will allow industries like manufacturing to create advanced and interactive digital twins. These innovations will absolutely revolutionize all aspects of operations, from design to testing to real-time monitoring and remote maintenance. Supply chains will also be transformed. Business systems will interact with partner systems in real time to plan and forecast supply needs. Sensors will capture key information across all stages of the operation to enable dynamic production scheduling. Human augmentation will improve how people interact in a combined physical and digital reality in a safe, productive, and immersive way.
Unlike ever before, the network will be critical to realizing the promise of the world in 2030. It will need to become inherently intelligent, dynamic, scalable, and secure, with an emphasis on performance and consumability. The network will evolve to be open, enabling a rich multi-party value ecosystem that will unleash innovation and opportunity, creating sustainable solutions for some of the world's biggest challenges. This is our vision for 2030. Together, we're creating the future.
So there is so much that our technology can enable. And for example, we are deploying our private wireless products and services to help the ocean cleanup and environmental organization remove plastic waste from the Pacific Ocean. In this project, Nokia's technology will be used for applications such as high-end video connectivity to help navigate the ocean cleanups operations. We are also working with NASA to build the first cellular network on the moon to support high-definition video, robotics and sensing applications when humans return to the moon for the first time in over 50 years. A few words about innovation. So at Nokia, we of course are passionate about innovation. We carry out R&D across the company, spearheaded by our Bell Labs research organization. Since year 2000, we have invested over 140 billion euros in R&D, and last year alone we invested more than 4.5 billion. So our engineers define many of the major enabling technologies used all around the world. We take a leadership role in global standard setting with our standardization experts holding more than 100 board member and other senior positions across all key standardization bodies. And we are very much focused on resolving the most complex technological problems and coming up with fundamental high-quality inventions. So last year alone, we filed patents on over 1,700 new inventions, and we have already exceeded that figure this year. And as a result of all of this research, we own one of the broadest and most valuable patent portfolios in the world, comprising of around 20,000 patent families, including over 6,000 patent families inventions declared as essential to 5G. And we have a strong set of multimedia patents, some of which the technology was actually demonstrated in the technical demos. So these technologies are the essential building blocks of entire industries: smartphones, connected cars, other connected devices, or video streaming. None of this would work without Nokia's patented inventions. Nokia Technologies, which is the business group that I lead at Nokia, licenses Nokia's inventions to other companies so they can build on our inventions without having to make their own investment in R&D. In the recent years, Nokia Technologies has grown to become one of the world's leading patent licensing businesses. We have licensing arrangement with more than 250 companies across our licensing programs, and earlier this year we signed long-term agreements with the leading smartphone brands Apple and Samsung, covering the use of their use of our technologies in their devices. And we then reinvest the royalties we receive from our licensing activities, along with additional investment in developing the next generation of inventions. So for us, licensing and the follow-on R&D that it enables, it's really a virtuous circle that a wheel that powers innovation at Nokia. And innovation, of course, does not take place in a vacuum, and we cannot unleash the transformative potential of our networks on our own. So this is why we actually partner with our ecosystem partners for both research and when we take products to the market. And relationships with universities and doctoral and postdoctoral programs are especially important to us. So Nokia has close partnerships with universities here in Finland, but also in France, India, Japan, the UK, the US, among others, supporting research in a broad array of different technologies. But Finland, of course, is a very important country for us, especially when it comes to R&D. So in Finland, we are pleased to support Aalto University's doctoral school program, training highly skilled PhDs in the field of quantum, radio, and antenna technologies. With the University of Helsinki, we are partnering on a number of fundamental research topics, including 6G, edge computing, and AI in radio and for Internet of Things. In Tampere, the SOC Hub project, coordinated by Tampere University and Nokia, is at the forefront of developing the system-on-chip design industry in Europe. And we are also working closely with Tampere University on extended reality and other areas of multimedia research. And actually just yesterday we signed a memorandum of understanding with the University of Jyväskylä to extend our collaboration. And with the University of Oulu, in partnership with other universities, we are collaborating on the world's first large-scale 6G flagship program. This has really made Finland the forerunner in 6G technologies. And we have been pleased to expand this collaboration also to the European Union's Commission's supported Hexa-X programs such as Hexa-X2, which is a 6G research program where we are participating in collaboration with Aalto University and the University of Oulu. This EU-wide project, which Nokia has been privileged to chair, is currently defining the initial technical architecture and foundations for 6G. And in addition to all of this, Nokia also plays an active role in developing Finnish industrial ecosystem. As part of Business Finland's Veturi initiative, we have brought over 100 Finnish research institutes and companies together to work in collaboration. The first two programs led by Nokia are Unlocking Industrial 5G, which was completed earlier this year and has helped to establish Finland as a frontrunner in industrial 5G networks. The program included research in areas such as system on chips, designs and development, radio and antenna research, and private network management. And the second program, Competitive Edge, which aims at building a competitive advantage in Finland from edge computing, is currently underway. And the competition challenge for the third Veturi program is now open, and Nokia is pitching with a proposal focusing on metaverse ecosystems there as well. So in conclusion, we are very happy with this close collaboration with the academic community, our ecosystem partners, as well as Business Finland. And I would like to express our deep thank you to all our partners. We naturally hope to see the collaboration continue and also to further deepen. Now, as a final part of my speech, I'd like to come back to today's ceremony. So this morning I looked back through the list of research awards the Nokia Foundation has granted over the past year, and was pleased to see so many topics that are relevant to Nokia today and the technology opportunities and challenges of tomorrow. I was also pleased to hear that among our recent hires at Nokia, we have colleagues who were recipients of Nokia Foundation scholarships while still working in academia. The work and the research that you all carry out is extremely important to Nokia, as it really inspires our thinking and it can lead to significant discoveries. So let me express big congratulations to all of you who will be receiving scholarships and grants today. Those awards are well deserved. I wish all the success for your work and hope to see many of you continue the great collaboration with Nokia. Thank you, and please enjoy the evening.
Now, moving on to the next part of the agenda, the Nokia Foundation Recognition Award, which celebrates individuals who have made a significant and lasting contribution to the advancement of information and communication technologies in Finland. I have the honor to ask Sari Baldauf, Chair of the Nokia Board of Directors, to announce the recipient of the 28th Nokia Foundation Recognition Award. Sari, welcome to the stage.
So thank you, Hannu. I don't know how should I do this, because when they have this kind of competition announcements in television, they keep a long silence. And then there's a music coming, but I think I'll go straight into the business here. And I have an easier task than you, because this name is easier to pronounce than many of those.
But I have practiced.
Yeah. You could have practiced a bit more around some of them. But good. So, Nokia Foundation has granted its 2023 award to Professor Emeritus Antti Räisänen from Aalto University. For his significant scientific achievements in advancing radio engineering research and his lifelong commitment to developing education in the field. Finland has built a global reputation as a front-runner in radio technology for telecommunications and other applications, and Antti Räisänen has played a key role in this. In addition to advancing research and education in the field, he has been instrumental in facilitating collaboration between Finnish industry and academia, helping to lay the foundations for Finland's world-class ICT. Antti Räisänen has received the prestigious Fellow distinction of the Institute of Electrical and Electronics Engineers, IEE, a recognition that only a few people in Finland have been granted. During his academic career, Räisänen authored or co-authored more than 500 scientific or technical papers. He has been a committed teacher during his career supervised more than 50 doctor's degrees. With this award, we want to show our appreciation for Professor Emeritus Räisänen's impressive career and acknowledge him as one of the most prominent researchers in radio technology and science in Finland. So Antti, would you kindly come here?
Thank you.
So Antti, my warmest congratulations to you. And I was going to ask you to give a big hand to Antti, but you already did it. But let's do it one more time. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you very
Can
much.
I hug you?
Sure.
Congratulations, Antti.
Thank you, Sari and Hannu. I'm enormously proud of this award, and your words were really nice. I think they were a little bit too good. But anyway, thank you very much.
You are a Finn.
I am.
Yes. Take
Thank
those
you.
to your wife. Thank you.
All right.
So why don't you go in the middle?
How should I keep
I
this?
can help with the flow, but
Yes.
Okay.
thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Now I would like to invite Antti you to deliver your speech. I'll take care of this.
Okay, thank you. So, I'm an old-fashioned professor. I don't have a tablet. I use old-fashioned papers, and actually forestry is my hobby, so I want that everybody, also you, are using paper. So, dear colleagues and friends, ladies and gentlemen, I have titled my talk Towards the Wireless World. This is my subjective story of how I see my small role in this big change from wired to wireless. Since I am from Savo, the eastern central part of Finland, it is important to remember the saying, when a person from Savo speaks, the responsibility lies with the listener. So I came to Espoo in 1969 to study electronics at TKK, Helsinki University of Technology, without any idea what would wait for me after my studies. In the fall of 1970, I saw an announcement of a colloquium where Professor Martti Tiuri was going to tell how radio waves can be used to study the universe. I attended the colloquium, and after that I knew I wanted to become an expert in low noise receiver technology for radio astronomy. 3 years later, I did my master's thesis under Martti Tiuri's supervision. However, the goals set by Tiuri for the thesis were so high that it took 7 more years and further studies at the University of Massachusetts to achieve them. My first contact with Nokia occurred during my study time in 1971, when I worked as a summer trainee at the Nokia Cable Works in Salmisaari. At that time, the Nokia Corporation was quite different from the international telecommunications company. We have known it since the 1990s. But before I go into details of my later Nokia connections, I would like to share with you my memories from the 1980s and 90s. Namely, I was engaged in organizing 2 large international conferences, the European Microwave conference of 1982 in Helsinki and 1992 in Espoo. When organizing an international conference, you need to use all means of global communication. In 1981-82, for the Helsinki conference, we used surface mail, air mail, wired telephone, and telex to stay connected with our colleagues around the world. There was no internet or email. Cellular networks were under development in the Nordic countries. When organizing the 1992 conference, we still used wired telephone, airmail, and surface mail, but telex had disappeared and been replaced by telefax. We did not use email for the conference contacts, although we had started to keep contact through Bitnet with the US university colleagues in 1986. The World Wide Web did not exist yet. During the 1992 conference, only Finnish participants used mobile phones. The world has changed since those days. Now we live in a wireless digital world. How come? Because we engineers have changed the world. Nokia and Finland have been on the front line in this process since the 1980s. Now I would like to give a brief overview of my Nokia connections that may have had some positive impact on the change towards the wireless world. I started as a professor of radio engineering and head of the radio laboratory at TKK in 1987. I started at the same time teaching and organizing modern microwave engineering courses for the Nokia radio link engineers at the Nokia premises in Karamalmi. In 1992, together with Dr. Viljo Hentinen, head of the Nokia Research Center, we started to develop the concept of IRC, Institute of Radio Communications. IRC began to operate in 1993. The IRC research contributed in many ways to mobile phone antenna development and cellular network channel modeling. In 1994, we started with Nokia funding a 6-year-long radio link antenna development project, which resulted in a flat, low-volume, high-gain millimeter wave antenna that provided an excellent antenna solution for several radio link products such as Metro Hopper and Flexi Hopper. Parallel to these telecommunication-related research activities, we were active in space-related research. For example, the Radio Astron satellite project and hologram compact antenna test range development, and in the development of teaching, for example, we wrote textbooks in Finnish and English. The radio laboratory was named twice in 1994 and 95 the National Center of Excellence in University Teaching by the Council of Higher Education. In 2000, the radio laboratory and the signal processing laboratory of TKK submitted a proposal, SMARAT, Smart and Novel Radios Research Unit, to the Academy of Finland in the call of the Centers of Excellence in Research and received the prestigious national status for 2002-2007. Then in 2006, we renewed SMARAT by connecting the Electronic Circuit Design Laboratory to SMARAT. The renewed SMARAT won the National Center of Excellence status for 2008-2013 with the name Center of Excellence in Smart Radios and Wireless Research. In SMARAT, we had 5 to 7 professors and their students and postdocs researching wireless communications. Our research topics were, for example, beam steering antennas, multi-antenna systems, artificial materials for antennas, radio channel modeling at millimeter wavelengths, integrated circuits for millimeter wave radio, signal processing for spread spectrum systems, etc. The 12 Smarad years resulted in some 600 peer-reviewed journal articles, around 1,500 other publications, patents, and most importantly, 75 new doctors of science. Most of these doctors were then recruited by Nokia. Nokia was strongly involved in Smarad through funding and providing its expertise to the Scientific Advisory Board. During the second Smarad period, Hannu Kauppinen and Jani Ollikainen represented Nokia. Thank you, Hannu and Jani. And of course, after Smarad, collaboration with Nokia continued, for example, in the development of beam steering antennas for millimeter wavelengths. Before concluding my talk, I would like to give some advice and encouragement to the younger generation. When looking back on my life since I went to school, I would bring up the following 4 points. First, studies. Study to learn, not to get the highest mark. The most important is to be ready to learn new things throughout the life. Take courses and attend seminars and colloquia outside your comfort zone. You may start seeing things in a new light. Be not afraid to take a research topic, even if it looks overly difficult. Second, ambition. There is nothing wrong with being ambitious. Dream big. Third, networking. Organizational activities, for example in IEEE, or participating in conference organization during your doctoral studies or postdoc period are extremely useful for your later working life. You will get to know important people with whom you may need to be in contact later. Fourth, collaboration and teamwork. In teamwork, you learn new things every day, much faster than when you work alone. Working alone was never my thing. Now it is time to conclude. I want to thank the Nokia Foundation for considering my contribution to teaching and research toward the wireless world valuable enough for the Recognition Award. And I want to thank the Nokia Corporation for providing excellent and motivating conditions for academic researchers to collaborate with industry in the development of the wireless world. I feel lucky that my early working career coincided with the Nokia reformation from a multi-field national company to an international telecommunication company specializing in wireless communications. I am grateful to my students and colleagues in microwave and telecommunication engineering for making our contributions toward the wireless world possible. Finally, my warmest thanks go to my wife Hannele, who has supported me in both the wired and wireless era. Unfortunately, Hannele couldn't join us today. Dear audience, thank you for your attention. Soon I start to cry if better stop.
Thank you, Antti, for the great speech. Please stay on the stage and we'll have a chat together. So can we have a couple of chairs on the stage? So Antti, please take the one and I'll take the other one. All right. Antti, congratulations again for your Nokia Foundation Recognition Award.
Thank you.
And a big thank you for all the tireless work you have done. developing the research and education in radio science and engineering. It's hard to ask questions from you because your speech was so deep and comprehensive, but I'll try anyway. So I have a few questions from myself as well as some from my colleagues at the Nokia Foundation. So the first one goes back into the past. You began your studies in electronics and you work at Nokia's cables factory, and I have also worked in Nokia cables a long time ago. But what then really made you interested in radio technology? I mean, obviously mobile communication was not as big a thing as today, and mobile communication is about transmitting information wirelessly by using radios, not cables. So can you share something about those early times?
Okay. First of all, what I did at the Nokia cable factory, it was a puppinized cable. And that was kind of old-fashioned already at that time. But it was a good exercise, I would say, in circuit theory sense. But not so much that you would get any kicks out of that I want to do that in the future. But as I said in my speech, Martti Tiuri's lecture about the researching universe using radio waves, that was really the starting point that I became interested in radio waves. And then, okay, I needed, of course, to learn something about telecommunication. Okay, that was provided by an excellent course by, once again, Dr. Viljo Hentinen. He was our teacher that time, and he had an excellent course on communications. I guess it was Communications 1 course name. It was a theoretical course. It didn't matter whether it was wireless or wired, but good communication theory. And I thought that this is my second subject. I want to take radio engineering and communications. But then of course, I continued with the space-related things and learned quite a lot in how to build good millimeter wave devices for radio receivers and even transmitters and so on. And then it turned out that also Nokia wanted that kind of knowledge, and in the 1980s already Nokia was interested of my capabilities and asked me to come to teach also, for example, and so on. And actually the final thing why I then so strongly took the telecommunication also, it was the first European Space Agency project what we won in 1987, right after Finland had joined as an associate member the Space Agency, and it was about antennas and antenna measurements. And okay, we didn't know much about those, but somehow we wrote very good proposal and and we won it. And even we were in the interview. There were other competitors and. We were so confident that we are better than the others, and we won it. And then we had to learn quickly, really about antennas afterwards, and then I was in that business.
Okay, thanks, Antti. You mentioned many things, but what I hear from you is that you had very inspiring teachers, like Professor Martti Tiuri, for example.
Right.
That was very important.
Yeah.
And you were also a very inspiring teacher, and you wrote good books. And even though I'm from a different field of physics, I have read all of your textbooks.
Good.
Yes.
Good for you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then you talked a lot about your collaboration with Nokia, and you mentioned people like Viljo Hentinen. I haven't had the opportunity to meet with him, but surely there were others as well. So, what, in your opinion, makes the cooperation between the academia and industry successful? Can you name some success factors?
I think it is the chemistry between the people in academia and in industry. That is important, and of course frequent meetings, and you can actually even improve the chemistry that way, that you meet frequently. And I think it was some kind of get together Nokia invited us from the radio laboratory to an evening get-together, and there was beer and food, and it was a good evening. And that was the day and evening when I got to know Sakari Salminen, who was the managing director of Nokia. So it was that get-together. And then after that evening, it was very easy to contact him, and for him also to contact me, and we had right away good collaboration. So that kind of things. And then, of course, later, for example, in the 1990s, on the latter half, that time Nokia invited professors who were in the ICT area. I guess it was maybe twice a year, to a meeting with the Nokia leaders, and those were useful things. So that kind of things, and you then find the proper person to discuss with and start doing something together.
Okay, so it's the right people on both sides.
Yeah,
I heard
exactly.
Viljo, Sakari, bringing them together, and the beer and the food as well. Yeah,
Yeah, it's important.
Yes, yes.
Especially for the academic people.
Okay. Okay. Well, then I have a picture for you, and in this picture are all the awardees of the year 2023, including yourself, Antti, there in the corner. And they represent 26 nationalities, and I think that is amazing. And you have yourself supervised 50 PhD students, and I have heard that today about 1/2 of the doctoral students in technical schools in Aalto University are from Finland, and another half come from other countries. So what can we do to make them to stay in Finland or return to Finland after they have done the postdoc and work for the benefit of our country?
I don't know if anybody knows really the correct answer, but I think it is important to try to get these students and postdocs, etc., to learn the Finnish language or Swedish, but even more Finnish, because then that helps them to integrate to the society. And without the local language, ability to speak and understand the local language, it is very difficult to integrate. I know that because I have lived in many countries, and I forced myself to learn at least some kind of local language in those countries, because otherwise you can't do anything really. So that is very important. But that is also not only now the challenge to the students, but this is especially the challenge to the supervising professors and thesis advisors. That they should emphasize this fact that, and of course nowadays, for example, Aalto has maybe half of the professors are also foreigners, and they should also learn the Finnish language. And I can tell you that it is possible. I have former colleagues who have learned, foreign colleagues who have learned, I mean even at the professor level, learned the Finnish language. For example, here is at least one of those professors who speaks fluent Finnish. And many of my students have learned Finnish, and they stay here in Finland now, many years after their PhD. So it is possible. Another thing is then, of course, the government. I don't know exactly what the government and this Migri is doing nowadays, but that used to be the problem, because in the early days the students got very short residence permits at the time, so they had to always renew them, and then even when they graduated and got, for example, a good solid work contract with the Nokia or other industry, they still got the residence permit only for 1 year, and I guess that has changed now. But that was a problem.
Okay, so it's all about integrating to the society,
yeah, exactly.
Getting a job, and also some level of proficiency in the language helps you to integrate.
Quite a lot, I would say.
Yeah. Okay, that's good advice. So I'll come to my last question. So Antti, you have recently published your autobiography, Radiolaboratorion maratonari vuosikymmeniä toiveammatissa. I don't try to translate that to English. But everyone, you can download a copy of Antti's book by using this QR code. And we're also handing out printed copies of the code to you in the room later. So if you don't get it right now, I've read your book, your autobiography. And the title of your book hints that you've not only worked a long time, but you are a marathon runner in addition to a radio science. So what can you say about the importance of physical exercise on a researcher's mind and well-being? And what do you think when you are running a marathon?
First of all, thank you, and thanks to Nokia Foundation that I got the hint that I wrote these memoirs already 5 years ago, but it was just a printed copy available, and those have disappeared somewhere already. So now it is as an e-book available. What comes to the physical exercise and running, it is very important. For example, in research and as a teacher, you prepare your lectures. It is sometimes something that you don't do it in 1 hour or 2 hours or 5 hours. You need 12 hours or even 24 hours. At least I have worked sometimes 24 hours in just in one period. And then you need really stamina, and you get that when you, for example, exercise, skiing or running. Another thing is that when you have stress, and everybody has stress. Nowadays, everything is so hectic. Even the teachers and researchers, they have stress quite often. And you need some relief, and you get it by going just half an hour run, and you are fresh and you can start again. Okay. And that is important. And then you obviously asked what I think when I run. It depends. If it is just a normal run, stress relief run, for example, I can finish my review of some article or proposal, because then my brain works all the time, although I don't think it, but after the run I know what my judgment for the case is. So it's easy. But when it is a marathon race, then you have to concentrate just to get to the finish line, and you can't think any deep things there. It is this survival, how to get to the goal.
Okay, I have experienced the same. I only run half marathon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have run 162 full marathons.
Wow. Hey, thank you, Antti. It's been a great pleasure to have this discussion with you.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you all.
We have one more award to present tonight. The Nokia Foundation Honorary Award is given to a person who has made a significant and lasting contribution to the success of the Nokia Foundation. Today's honorary award is only the 4th one in the history of the foundation. May I ask Timo Alivehmas to please come up on the stage to receive your award. Welcome on the stage, Timo. The Nokia Foundation Board has granted an honorary award to Dr. Timo Alivehmas for the long-standing contribution and dedication to the Nokia Foundation. As the chair of the Board of Directors, you navigated the Nokia Foundation securely through times of change. During your time, Nokia went through many transformations, but your relentless work ensured that the traditions and mission of the Nokia Foundation continue to be upheld today. You also actively drove the development of the Nokia Foundation grant programs and enhanced particularly the international collaboration. Timo, my heartfelt congratulations to you and a big thank you for all the wonderful work you have done for us.
Wow.
Yes. Congratulations. Ole hyvä.
All right, so thank you, Hannu. May I use the microphone here somewhere?
Yes, please. And I can take care of that for you.
I can.
Okay.
This is fine. So thank you, Hannu, and thank you, Nokia Foundation Board, for this great honor. This is really a specific honor to me. Maybe it's still better if you take this one.
Yes. Up and whoa.
So for me, Nokia Foundation is really, or was a very pleasant opportunity to take a deep dive to world-class university research here in Finland and also globally. I think that this type of third sector actors like foundations, they are very important in both challenging and also supporting the researchers and research institutions. Nokia Foundation is a special organization to me, of course, for its independent, but also friendly relationship to business and to Nokia. This kind of intermediator role is important in making connections between academic research and relevant business applications of technologies. And furthermore, this is especially important for me if we expect more and more international researchers to join the ICT ecosystems here in Finland. Nokia Foundation, therefore, is connecting people in a way which is not that easily possible for either academic or business sectors if they work separately. So we definitely had some challenges and also many happy moments during this time of foundation life, during my time. So we can say it was life. It was full of life. And therefore, I really can say that I will remember these 9 years in Nokia Foundation for the rest of my life. So thank you. What I want to say, thank you to Nokia Foundation. Thank you to all those people who I have had the privilege to work with. And since I see so many familiar faces here today, thank you to all of you. And I didn't know that I have to say this as well, but then I noticed that Henry was here. And then I want to thank you, Henry, also for giving me a call some 10 years ago in one gloomy November night, asking me to join Nokia Foundation. So wherever you are, Henry, thank you. There, thank you. So I'm very honored to have this.
Vielä kuva. Ja, otetaan kuva. Yes. No niin. Joo. Joo. Thank you, Timo, for those words. Let me congratulate once again all this year's scholarship and grant receivers. I would also like to thank the foundation officers, Dr. Sami Sarpola, and Mrs. Leena Tanner for their work in the daily management of the foundation, guided by our board of directors. And I want to thank all of you who have voluntarily contributed to the foundation. At Nokia Foundation, we are interested in your thoughts on our work and what more we can do to deliver a positive impact to Finland. Please send your feedback and ideas to the Nokia Foundations or directly to me, Sami, or Leena. Our board will evaluate them and will get back to you. Thank you for following our ceremony tonight. I wish you all a very successful end to the year. Have a safe trip back home, or meet us at the hotel bar for drinks. And on your way out, remember to pick and choose for yourself a Nokia notebook carrying the new Nokia logo and colors. And you'll find the QR code there in between as well. And it is only appropriate to end the evening with another song performed by Talouskvartetti, Gute Nacht, Good Night in English.
Warum bist du so ferne, o mein Lieb? Es leuchten mild die Sterne, o mein Lieb. Der Mond will schon sich neigen in seinen stillen Reigen. Gute Nacht, meine süßes Lieb. Gute Nacht, mein süßes Lieb. Gute Nacht, mein Lieb. Miksi kaukana niin olet, kultani. Jo vilkkutähdet lempeät, kultani. Kuvalehainen kainu, jo päivä pakon painu. Kultaseen hyvästi lennestään.